Hi there, Vanessa, the Salty Knitter, and today I am going to knit at least one, if not a pair, of Sew As You Go slippers. So there's no seaming on these. Once you take the slipper off the machine, it's done. But first, a little bit of math. So I did a tension swatch, and if I go with this blue ruler here that came with the machine, from the gray line to the other gray line, I have 24 rows. So that means that in a 4-inch swatch, I would have 24 rows. It calculates it for you. And then if we go from contrast thread to contrast thread, switch to the right side, then we have 18 stitches per 4-inch. So fair enough. When I first measured it, I was getting 16. Let's just do that one more time. I see it, so it kind of shrunk up a bit. So anyways, either way, I did my math based on 16, and that's fine. We'll just leave it like that. So my foot circumference is 9.5 inches, and if we have 4 stitches per inch, that means I need a total of 38 stitches to go around my foot. So I'm going to divide that by 12, and I get 19, which I'm going to reduce to 18, so it's divisible by 3. Now, this is going to be a 2-layer slipper. That'll be the inner layer. I'm going to make the outer layer a little bit larger, so I'm going to add 3 to that. So I'm going to cast on 21 stitches. Now, I do need one other measurement. I need to know the length of my foot. From heel to toe is 9.5 inches. I'm going to take off, actually I'm going to take off more than that, because, so this is one of my first attempts at this technique, and if we measure that, it is, so that heel is 2 inches. So I need to take off more than 2 inches from my 9.5. I need to go down, well, let's take off at least another inch. So we'll say 6 inches. Let's go 6 inches. And if we round up a little bit, say we got 24 rows per 4-inch, so that would be, divide that by 4, 6 times 6, I think we come up with, because we have 6 inches and we're going to multiply it by a 6-inch long foot. So 6 times 6 is 36. We're going to do 36 rows. So I'm going to scribble this out and say 36. And I think probably what I will do is do like a measurement before I start my toe. Okay? So we'll still go with the 24 rows for the ankle. We're not doing ribbing. This is Anna Hefferman's sock pattern. So she makes like a double layer sock, and then she leaves the ankle to just roll as it's naturally inclined to do. So I'm going to go with that too. So if we're doing 21 rows, that is these needles here. So we're going to go from 10 left to 11 right. I'm going to pull them all the way out so I can E-wrap them. And I have my yarn ready with a clothespin. I think I can pull you back a little bit. Okay. So, do a quick E-wrap here. Whoop. Get off of there. Okay. Oh, before I forget, it really helps me out if you hit that subscribe button and possibly even, you know, like this video or comment on it. That would be a really huge help for me. Okay, so I'm just gonna move these to the side for a minute, and I'm going to put my row counter to 0, and I'm going to knit my first row. And no, I'm not, because, okay, I'm going to put my Russell levers back to the number 2 position and knit my first row. Like so. And that needle knitted, okay, they all knitted. So let's hang some weight. I think the carriage is going to squawk on the way back. That's all right, we'll get through. Okay, so what did I say? 24 rows. Okay, so there's those 24 rows. I'm going to bring my weight up, and I'm going to start short rowing for my heel. So the reason we do multiples of 3 is because we're going to gradually work our way down until we only have 1/3 of our needles still in work, and then we work our way back up, and that's how we construct our heel, or shape our heel, I guess. Okay? So we pull out the needle closest to the carriage first, so it auto wraps. And again, closest to the carriage, auto wrap. So, closest to the carriage. You always want to put your finger in front of, like, you just want to hold the stitch down as you pull the needle out so it doesn't pop off. I'll do this one. The next one I'll bring the camera in closer so you can see what I mean. Okay, so see, if we just push forward, it could go up and off the needle. So we just kind of tug it down a little bit before we pull out, and then it auto wraps. Okay, I'm going to pull you back out a little bit. And so you can do this on pretty much any flatbed machine, this sock pattern. It could be like the LK 150. You can even do it on a standard gauge machine if you want. You would just have to use appropriate yarn for it. So this here is a Red Heart yarn that I got years ago from Walmart, like years ago. Yeah, because I bought it for the pattern on the label, and I remember I was doing that. I was still dating a guy, and that was like, 2012. Yeah, so this is 12-year-old yarn. Okay. Pull that needle out. And we're down to 4, 8. Okay, so see, I just unknitted that stitch accidentally. So I'm going to pull it down. Okay, and reknit it. Okay. So that's 7, 7, 7. So this is the last one we put into hold. Okay, and then we're going to start knitting them back. So I'm going to wrap that needle, and I'm going to push 2 back over here. But then I'm going to pull 1 back into hold, so I auto wrap, and then push 2 back over here. Okay. 1 back into hold, so I auto wrap, 2 back into working. And we just keep going like that until we have all of our needles back into work. You have to watch your weight, because as you create this pocket for your heel, the weight stops pulling down on the fabric as you need it. So you just kind of have to keep an eye on it and keep rearranging it as necessary. Okay. No, I think I'm just leaving that one as it is. Okay, I'm going to count that as, I'm going to put it back to 0. I'll just go. Okay, so now I said 36 rows, but I don't know. Anna Heffernan said she does 40 rows with a similar weight yarn. Or maybe it was a lighter weight yarn. Maybe it was a sport weight. You know what? I'm just going to do my 36, and then I can measure before I start shaping my heel. Or my toe, I mean. Okay. Now that I got a couple rows there, bring these up. Okay, so that is my 36 rows. And it's going to be stretched a little bit from the weights, but we can still kind of get so that's about 7.5 inches from the heel, like the back of my heel, to the beginning of my toe. And then we add at least another 1.5 inches, if not 2 inches for the toe. So I think we're fine with that. So pull back a little bit, maybe. So you can see that's what we have so far. We have the foot, and then you can see what I mean about how on the cuff it's going to kind of naturally roll, which actually I kind of like the look of it. Looks like I had a knot there. Okay. Okay, so now we start short rowing again. Kind of would like to put, just because it's black yarn, so it's a little hard to see. So I kind of want to put a marker . Just below where I'm going to start short rowing my toe. Okay. All right. So the needle closest to the carriage again, so it auto wraps. Same. And we keep going. I really wish I knew. I'm gonna have to look into how to make a rounder toe. I really don't like the shape of this method for the toe. It's fine for the heel, but it's just too angular looking for a toe. I would really like a more rounded toe. So, something to look into, I think. Maybe somewhere in my hoard of old knitting magazines, I'll find the perfect perfect toe to knit on a knitting machine. So 3, 6, one more. Oops, knit that off all the way. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to start putting needles back into work. I'm going to manually wrap just this first one. So you put 2 back into work, but then pull 1 back into hold so you get the auto wrap. So the 2 farthest away from your carriage, you put into upper working position so they knit, but then you put 1 back into hold because then, like I said, it auto wraps so you don't, theoretically, you don't get holes. You still get holes. You just get smaller holes. Because you filled them with a little bit of yarn, that's all. Excuse me. Okay, sorry, I had to go get a drink. Okay. We are, yes, putting needles back into work. Right? Okay. Yep. Okay. So rearrange these a little bit. And this is the part where we start sewing as we go. Okay. You know, I'm really glad I put that marker there. Okay, so I'm going to pick up this stitch here, and I'm going to put it on the needle, and I'm going to knit that one back as I come across. Okay. Move this over just a bit, it's just a little in the way. So again, that stitch marker is going to help me out. So I'm going to put this one on, which may not be the right one, but I feel like it is. Okay. So I just have to remember as I go, I'm adding a stitch on the carriage side. Okay, so we already did that one. So now we're going to come out to this one. This one. It's odd because, so you can see this here, and you're like, I'm tempted to rehang that and knit it, but it's actually a stitch I've already done, so I have to go kind of to the next one, not the one that looks the most obvious. So see, it's kind of the same thing over here, right? Like it looks like I should grab this here, but if I look, see, that's already been knitted. So I need to go to the next one. Or at least that's what it looks like. I don't know if I'm wrong. We'll see in a few minutes. So it's windy here today. I just had a big old hunk of tree fall down in my backyard. It's been kind of dying for a while. The birds will be a little put out because they always had a nest in there. I have a lot of trees that really should come down. It's just, man, at $1,000 a tree minimum. That adds up. And that's if you can even get a tree company to come. I've been waiting on a willow tree that I've had an estimate on for quite some time. And it's still standing. Weather has a lot to do with that. Too much rain. Not enough time with frozen ground. And then weather events that add to the workload. So, yeah. Hey there, it's Vanessa. I hope you enjoyed this video knitting a Sew As You Go sock. This is part 1 of part 2. I'm going to knit the second sock off camera, and then I will come back with part 2 when we do the lining. If you want to make sure that you don't miss that, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you have a minute, leave a comment or let me know if you like this video. Thank you.